So the last thing we want to focus on for this lesson is just being able to interpret a box and whisker plot. So here we have a box and whisker plot about some volunteer service hours. What's the median? Well, the median's right here, so our median is 20. Pretty self-explanatory. What's our lower quartile? Well, it's between 16 and 17, so 16.5. So really basic stuff, upper quartile 23. And then the more important part is this percentage idea. Well, what's the percentage data between the lower and the upper quartiles? We talked about that earlier. That's two sections, so we're at 50%. A couple more problems there for you to practice this on. What's our median here? 35. What percentage is below the median? So below the median is two sections, so like 50%. And then what are the five values? That's just your your minimum, your Q1, your median, your Q3, and your maximum. So basic stuff when it comes to interpreting. But then what becomes more important is when we compare the two to each other. So if we have two box and whisker plots here for Miami, Florida, and the amount of rain, in New Orleans, Louisiana, we want to compare the two. It's important that we be able to look at these two box and whisker plots at the same time. So when you look at this one, it says, what do the interquartile ranges tell you about the monthly rainfall in each city? Well, when we look at the interquartile range for Miami, it's massive, right? Anywhere from about 2.5 up to almost 7.5. So we have a really wide interquartile range. So that what tells me there is that it varies, if you ask me, right? It basically it's telling us that we have a very wide interquartile range, as opposed to in Louisiana, in New Orleans, it's very, very consistent, right? Most of our rain falls anywhere between 5 to 6 inches of rain, right? So we have much less variation there. It's much more consistent, right? So those are some of the observations that we can take away when we use a box and whisker plot. So that's helpful. Instead of just looking at a whole bunch of numbers on a page, we have a picture that gives us this information, right? Same thing goes here. When we look at Miss Russell's piano practice, we can say, well, what whole number best represents the median? Well, we're right here. We're looking at 35. So really basic stuff. So this unit gets us going with some really basic ideas and hopefully pretty self-explanatory. So take a couple minutes to try these other practice problems out. And if you're stuck, check the lesson notes and make sure that you're good to go for the rest of this unit. Keep up the good work, and I would hope that everything is going well.